Alright, so we're on the Niken GT. And real concern is, what does it feel like? So from a stop, it definitely, you can kind of feel the two. It just has a weird, you know, it just leans a little different. But when you're moving, so far, nothing. Which is excellent. Very smooth. Little bump here, see? Oh yeah, super smooth. Oh my gosh, it's like, it just feels so smooth, and this, I don't want to weave or anything, but power wise is good, coming from the, it's about an 850cc. I think they classify it as a 900. But you'd never know, you got two front tires in the front for sure. And because of the fact that it's so wide, you don't even, you can't see them, and that's good, because I think seeing those tires would be a bit of a distraction. You kind of just want to look to see what's happening. Oh, a bit of a different route. Alright, first kind of turn, let's see what happens here. Go through here. Nice little lean. Seat's really firm, which is okay. And we got these different modes. So right now we're in mode 3, so I'm going to kind of let off the throttle. And we're in mode 2, mode 1. So now we should have a bit more, yeah, definitely a little bit more snap. You can feel it, this kind of hole right there, for sure. We're going to keep it in here in mode 1, because that's just sportier, more aggressive. I just think it's literally just throttle response. So how fast she's pulls with, yeah, very minimum throttle hit to get that to roll. So in 3, it was a much smoother transition, whereas this is a little more aggressive. But crazy smooth. And I would think with the two front tires, even bumps, you'd have no, like, one tire hits a bump and the other one doesn't. Which I'm kind of hoping that maybe I'll see some kind of pothole or something where I can try to get one tire in the bump and one tire not. We'll see if that actually happens. Roads are a little tiny bit wet, so see what kind of braking power it has, which is good. Front brakes grab nicely. Super smooth clutch. Shifts really nice. The little windshield. This is the GT model, so the GT model comes with certain things like heated grips. It comes with a bigger windshield on the front. It comes with these, I want to say, hard, soft tail or side bags. And I think it comes with a center stand, which is not included on the standard Niken. Dash is nice and easy to read, which is also good. You do have a little 12 volt adapter up there, so if you want to plug some extra stuff in. But she just sticks to the road. Actually, quite nice. You know, put some knobby tires on this, she'd be fantastic out in the dirt. Maybe, maybe not. You know, you do feel a little different. She definitely does feel like she's got a bit more weight in the front end, so when you are kind of pushing it into corners, I don't think she leans quite as fast or aggressively as a bike with 2 tires versus the 3. But once you're in the corner, she's fine. It just, you do feel like you got to give it a bit more of a lean or a push to get it to kind of go in. But I think that over time, that would be something that you would easily just become accustomed to. but extra traction is almost worth it, especially if you're somewhere that may get unfavorable weather conditions, so a lot of rain and stuff like that. So in here, for instance, you kind of, it's not horrible, but yeah, definitely a little bit more of a tip to get it in there. But other than that, yeah, you really can't tell that you're riding with two front tires, and you really have no feeling or lack of confidence that one of those tires or both of those tires are going to slip. So I'm going to switch it back in the next little flat. We'll switch it back into mode 3, I believe it is, which is the kind of just standard cruising mode. As soon as we get it straight here, roads have dried out a bit here, so it's good. Mirrors are kind of in a weird spot, but I guess that's good. Oh, that's a nice corner. Here we go. So I'm going to let off the throttle, push it back into 3. Oh yeah, definitely smoother for sure. Oh, the bumps are just so nice. Again, I would like a little bit of a cushier seat, but that's something I'm sure that easily customizable afterwards. More and more companies, I think, will be starting to come out with third-party accessories for this bike. I do feel she wants to straighten up a little bit more than a normal bike. Not much, but a little bit. And it's a nice upright seating position, so again, my arms in that, no worries about a bend or having them hyperextended or anything like that. I got a nice curve in there, I'm sitting upright. So let's see if we can catch up to these guys to see that little 850 motor kind of kicking the gear. So definitely in this mode, mode 3, not as much punch, but you really a nice smooth it's a nice smooth acceleration when you're rolling in and out of that throttle. Got a nice quiet motor, got a nice hum to it, which is nice. With a full face helmet, you can hear it, but not much, I guess you guys, I don't know if you guys can hear it much at all. A bit of wind noise coming through, but not horrible. But yeah, for the most part, very cool. It's definitely a bike that I was like, what the heck are they making? But definitely neat for sure. And I think for the most part, if you were to have hopped on this bike and not realized that it has two front tires, it would be hard to guess that it does. Not that many of us are gonna just hop on a bike blindfolded, but if you take that thought out of your head that you're really focusing on the fact that this has two front tires, it's really hard to determine that. Oh, but yeah, even that little bit of bump there, super smooth. Yeah. Oh, bump. Oh no, it holds those so nice. Torque wise, it's pretty good. I'm in 5th gear right now. You can roll on and off the throttle real nice. It's got a fair bit of pickup. I'm doing about 45 miles an hour in 5th. Picks it up nice in that gear. But in a rainy day, I'd feel really confident on a bike like this. Just that extra bit of... She's got some decent acceleration. Oh, maybe some bumps coming up here so we can get a test road work. And maybe not. actually get a fair bit of, I want to say, wind protection on your legs, just because I think the front end of this bike is so big that the wind just deflects off of it and fires off to the side quite heavily. So tucking my legs in around the tank, which is actually really nice. It tapers in really nice around the seat. I think that would give you a fair bit of, you know, wind protection. I can feel the bottom of my pant legs floating around a bit, but not too much. See what it sounds like, ready? Yeah, for the most part, it's definitely a fun bike. Way more fun. Is that the word I'm looking for? Oh, little rocks kicking up on me. Oh, we're turning around in here. See how this feels like in a turn. Nice. Nothing wrong with burning little Yui here. No, there's the rest of the Yamaha guys coming. Alright, we're off. A little bit of bumps, but not too bad. But again, you can barely feel them. Here's a little bit of... That 2 tires just smooths out any bumps. Now, of course, a big pothole, but hit both of them. But... the smell of fresh tar in the morning. Super smooth on the clutch. The shift is really nice. Oh, there we go. Good bump. 1 tire hit it, but it wasn't too bad actually. So, another one, ready? Other tire. Yeah, it's not... Oh, see, right there, like, the other tire just kind of held the bike up while the other one kind of floated over the pothole. So, that was kind of nice as well. Normally in a bike, you'd go into that and you definitely feel like you're going to lose some of your traction, or the bike's going to kind of float all over the place or bang you around all over. I intentionally tried to get 1 tire to hit the pothole and the other tire to not, and really nice response. Super nice. I could see changing the seat a bit to get it a little more comfy, but I could see definitely touring around on this. I'd put probably a bigger windshield on there if you can. And I don't know if I would keep these bags on. I'd like to see if you could get a bigger bag. If you look at the bike in front of me, that's the Tracer, I believe it is. I would think possibly even those hard bags would fit on this bike. Shape and size seems very similar. And I believe you can get a top case for it. So you could, I would think, and if they're not there, of course, you're going to start seeing third-party companies start making them for bikes like this. So that would... you could definitely turn this into like a tourer without question. But even just for cruising around the city, it would be super fun. Especially if you have a area with crap roads. And again, fairly good wind protection. Like my hand's it's getting a bit of wind down here, but not a lot. So again, I think that front end is blowing a lot of wind right over top of you. And unlike a traditional trike or three-wheeler, one of the things you have to remember is this bike does lean, which is great, because if not, it would pretty much be a trike. So it's very hard to feel the difference, for the most part, over a traditional motorcycle. But it doesn't stand on its own. So, you know, if you're stopping at an intersection or if you're parking it, you know, the front tires don't keep the bike upright, so try not to just let it fall over, because that is something that can definitely happen. So don't do that. So trike-ish in the fact that you're going to get that kind of traction, but motorcycle feel for sure. Definitely it's like 95% motorcycle, but you get some of the benefits of that two-wheel traction in the front. Now, the other thing that some people may be concerned with, and I'm just kind of guessing, is that, you know, a lot of people are concerned that every time this thing has to go in for, let's say, new tires. Well, that's 2 front tires instead of a single. And that's definitely true. But I would also think that you should be able to get more miles or kilometers out of the wear of those front tires, because of the fact that, you know, that those tires are only really getting half the weight on them. You know, the 2 tires are spreading that weight out across the 2, which should, I would think in theory, again I could be wrong, but I think in theory, get you a bit more kilometers on it. So that could help a little bit. What are we in right now? 3rd gear. And the more you ride it, the more you really forget. You have to really tell yourself, remember this has got 2 front tires. Remember to try to feel if it's different. And when you do, you kind of feel some of the things that make it different for sure. And for someone, excuse me, someone like me today that's really trying to pay attention to that, you can feel them a little bit, not a lot though. So I would think after you've ridden this for a while, or if you were just not really paying attention to the fact that you are looking for things, you wouldn't really know or feel or experience really any difference in any difference that you do, except for little things like, again, it's a little bit more, you have to really push it, I guess, into the corners a little bit more, not a lot, but a little bit. But that extra traction gain is fantastic for sure. Ample power out of the 850. And again, I don't know if they classify this as an 850 or classify it as a 900. I'm pretty sure it's very similar to the same engine that's in the Tracer in front of me. I believe it's a triple. But yeah, when you push steer this thing, or counter steer, however you want to call it, you can really just lean it in there. Right? You just push it down, she just goes. So whatever the engineering is to get those 2 front tires to move around like that, very, very cool. Now, just for you guys as well, if you are ever in the market or going to one of the little bike rallies that has Yamaha there that's doing demo rides, if you're looking to take one of these out, be there early. We were there at 7 a.m. The demo ride started at 9. The tent opened at 8:15. We were first in line, but if you would have showed up at 8 o'clock, the chances were good that you weren't taking one of these out, because they only had a couple and they booked up fast. So we got here bright and early, first people in line, first ride of the day, get it done and over with, you know. So just keep that in mind if you are someone who wants to take one of these out. Yeah, that seat's hard for sure. I definitely would like a little more cushier seat. And supposedly on the GT model, the seat's a little nicer than the standard. And my butt's already sore. And this ride's been, what, 20 minutes? Now, I've been riding a lot in the last couple days. But still, you know, you're doing a long ride. You don't want to get on your bike and 20 minutes later your bum's sore already. It feels cushy when you push it down with your fingers and that, but yeah, it's not really contoury at all. It feels more like a little bench seat. It's got a little bit of a lip on the back, of course, to slide you into the tank, which is good, but I definitely would like something a little more form-fitting, a little more supportive maybe, and maybe a little softer, possibly. Okay, we're back and running. So, final thoughts on this bike. Well, you know what? I like it a lot more than I thought I was gonna. I was really more curious coming into this ride, and then, you know, my thought was, especially when you look at it, you're like, really neat for sure. Would I buy one? I don't think so. But if you can get over the fact that it doesn't look like a traditional bike, you will definitely have a ton of people coming up to you and talking to you about it. It is without question an attention getter for sure. So if you buy one of these, be aware that everybody's going to be wanting to talk to you and see how it feels and how it reacts and how it, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, you have to just be okay with that, I guess, is what I'm saying, I guess, because it's definitely a little different. But I like it. I do. I like it way more than I thought I would. So yeah, like going up even on an angle like that, it's just, it feels so nice. Alright guys, we're gonna leave you here. That's it for this ride. We're pulling back in, and that's it. All good. Later.
Yeah.